And now the opening lineup for Boston. At the 2 and 3, it's Avery Bradley and Jeff Green. Brandon Bass is out there with Olynyk. And it's Rondo in at the 1 spot. And for Indiana, George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2. Down low, Raston Hibbert. And it's Granger in at the 3 slot.
Well, you got to love the season from David West last year, coming off the ACL tear back in 2011. I think he's completely back as far as that injury is concerned. He was so good last year, particularly in the playoffs.
And the first one drops. And David West, Clark, a locker room leader for the Pacers last season, helped lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and a guy I know that you greatly admire.
Oh, my goodness. Love the way he does his work. I call him Real Deal 21. There's nothing fluffy about what he gets done, and he's so smart and so savvy in how he approaches the game, and really a lion in the locker room for the Pacers. That's why that team was so tough in many ways, particularly defensively.
Now here's Bradley. And Olynyk gets it to go on the assist by Bass.
That's an efficient start for them offensively, working it inside for the easy 2 points.
Yeah, Clark, I think they can really attack this club in the paint. That's where they can win this game if they dominate there.
Granger kicks to George. A three-pointer, no good. Now Rondo. Left side Rondo. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
You know, there aren't too many drive and dish point guards out there anymore, but Rondo is the epitome of that type of guard in the NBA. He is always looking to make a move and create space for a teammate, and his assist totals reflect that.
Well, Clark, you talked about Rondo's playmaking. I think Steve and I agree. He's led the league in assists per game the last 2 seasons in that very important category, Steve, and I think that speaks volumes.
It's pretty incredible what Rondo has been able to accomplish in the NBA. Fell to late in the first round to the Celtics back in his draft class, but here he is developing into one of the top point guards in the league.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe.
You know, a big part of why the Celtics dropped so much last season was they weren't very good on the road. Ended with a 14-27 record away from home, which was by far the lowest of any team in the East that made the playoffs.
Now here is Hill. Shot clock at 6. West dishes to Granger. Shoots a fader. Count the bucket.
Still went down, but with no defense anywhere near him, he might as well just go straight up. No need to fade away.
And as you said, Clark, rarely can you win just over a third of your road games like the Celtics did and expect to make the playoffs. And had they played closer to 500 on the road, you know, Steve, there's a good chance they could have ended up as the 5th or the 4th seed.
Well, and in the Celtics case, it wasn't their defense, Kevin. It was their offense that betrayed them when they went out onto the road. They just couldn't win the close games. And some of it was just age and injury. But so many of those road losses from last year just came back to haunt them, and that's why they ended up with that 7th seed.
Here's Green after Danny Granger's bucket. Now here's Rondo. Bass. No good off the back of the rim.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
Hill passes to West. West draws the double. And George kicks to Granger. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Hill dishes to Granger. It's back to Hill. Good on the triple. Hill's got his first 3 points of the game.
George, good open look. He slashes home the 3.
Olynyk sets a screen for Rondo. And he gets it to go. No problem on the 3 from Bradley.
How about that for a response?
They will say they can give the 3 as well as they can take the 3.
Hill kicks to Granger. Outside, George. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock.
and they're nearly perfect from the floor early on. 4 of their first 5 shots they've drained.
Moments ago, our Doris Burke had a chance to catch up with the coach, Frank Vogel. Doris?
I asked him which player he was most worried about, and his answer was immediate: Rajon Rondo. He said Rondo's ability to take control of games with his defense and his playmaking make it tough to mitigate what he can do on the floor. We'll see if he has something up his sleeve, guys.
All right, Doris. Granger against Rondo. Granger kicks to Hill. The 3 from George. That doesn't go either for George.
Good solid defense on the perimeter there, challenging the shot and not fouling.
Even the best shooters can be bothered by his defense.
Now the Pacers moving it up. Hill leading the charge. Here's Granger. It's rebounded by Bass.
Well, as far as jump shots go, that's as high percentage as it gets.
I'm not sure how that didn't go down.
And it's Rondo penetrating. Here's Bradley. Offline with his 3.
Boy, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance, leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Hill passes to West. Outside, George. Plenty of space. Green with the rebound.
Poor shooting from him this quarter. His shooting percentage nowhere near where he'd like it to be.
Outside, Rondo. Kicks to Bradley. Outside, Rondo. 3-pointer. Can't get it to go. Hill with some nice D. Indiana leading by 5. And George kicks to Hibbert. Hill dishes to George. Granger with the ball. Now guarded by Bradley. Rondo against Hill. He feeds it to West. West to Granger. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him.
And the first one drops. And a long road back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger will be able to come back and maintain it, or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
Oh, my God. A team right on the cusp, obviously. Yep. And the free throw is good from Granger.
There's not a lot you can say that hasn't been said before about his skill at the charity stripe.
Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Wallace kicks to Humphries. Wallace, the pass to Humphries. They get a hand on it, and that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
5 seconds on the shot.
4 on the shot clock. Here's Rondo, and it's sent back by George.
They've done a terrific job rebounding here so far, allowing no second chance points. Boy, there's a little extra on that one, fellas. Nobody's going to stop that.
Not when he comes in with the tomahawk. That's just too much force.
You can't punch it any harder than that. That was a rim rattler.
Celtics trail by 9. Rondo drives in. Now the pass to Humphries. Back to Rondo. Green dishes to Rondo. The feed to Humphries. Shot clock at 5. Wallace, the pass to Rondo. Hits the target from 18 feet. So timeout called here, the first for Indiana. And Clark, you're right. They've done a great job of cleaning up the misses and limiting second chance points.
Well, because they've done a nice job blocking out and everybody has been concentrating on blocking out and pursuing the ball, they've not given up any second chance opportunities.
Hustle, too. Gotta hustle.
Yeah, you got to go after it.
Pacers leading by 7. Hill kicks to Granger. Pass to West. Trying to find Scola. He's got it now. That drops.
They've been hot here early, dropping them in left and right.
Let's see how long they can keep it going. This is quite a start.
Now Humphries inside. West with the steal. Outside Hill. Dishes it to Granger. Blocked.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
Yeah, and even though it's early, I mean, that's a great sign for them for the rest of the game.
Rondo and Hill with the block.
And it seems like nothing is falling for him this quarter. He's really out of his rhythm.
Feeds it to George. On the wing, Granger. Back to George. 6 on the shot clock. For 3, Hill. Offensive rebound, Pacers. Scola, no luck.
And you got to like the defense inside, really protecting the rim.
Challenging shots and making his presence felt around the rim, that's exactly what he can give you.
Rondo dishes to Green. Here's Humphries. Gets himself open and drills it. Indiana leading by 7. Hill passes to George. Scola kicks to Granger. Indiana moving the ball around. Shot clock at 6. And he gets the bucket. Granger's got 8 points.
Oh, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
Now the story is points in the paint, Clark. I mean, they're getting point-blank shots every time down.
One of the bright young head coaching stars in the league, Frank Vogel, took over the Pacers on an interim basis 3 seasons ago and immediately paid dividends. They had a strong finish to that season and his first season in a competitive first-round series against Chicago, and that success has continued to build and grow, and Frank Vogel deserves a lot of the credit.
Hill kicks to Scola. Granger against Wallace. Outside Hill. Cashes in for a double-digit lead. Hill's got his second bucket.
Huge advantage for them already.
And as well as they've played at both ends so far, this lead might continue to grow.
And Coach Vogel, the second youngest coach in the NBA last season, but he'd been working in the NBA for 15 years, Steve, prior to that, prior to becoming a head coach.
Yeah, 5 years as a video coordinator, a couple seasons as an advanced scout, and then 8 years on the bench as an assistant. So he's definitely paid his dues and learned a lot on his way up the ladder.
So it's Boston now, trailing by 10. Here's Sullinger, drops in the layup for 2.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Stevenson with it. To the wing on the left. Knocked away. Here's Copeland. And a miss there on the triple. Celtics trail by 8. Offside Rondo. Inside, here's Sullinger, and he gets it to go. Here is Watson. Over to the left wing. Stevenson dishes to Watson. Over to the left wing. He kicks to Granger. Offline with his 3. Austin's gone 1 of 5 from downtown in the first quarter. Points out there have been hard to come by. Rondo with it, now guarded by Watson. Lee passes to Rondo, to the middle, and Sullinger with the basket on the assist by Rondo. And now it's just a 4-point Pacer lead, and Indiana shooting 47% from the field to start things off. Watson kicks to Stevenson. It's stolen by Rondo, and here we go. Wallace against Granger. And here's Rondo. The dish to Wallace. Shot clock at 6. And it's Rondo penetrating. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Before his injury last season, it was quite clear that while the rest of the Celtics bunch could still hold their own, this would no doubt be Rondo's team moving forward.
The free throw drops for Rondo. And for Rondo and the Celtics that actually explored trading him in the past. You always hear the rumors he butted heads with Doc Rivers, and they wondered if he was too individualistic. But now they hand him the keys.
Well, he's a tremendous player, Rondo, and a guy who can take over a game. And there have been times when he's been a little moody. We've seen him bump officials. He's gotten suspended. He's gotten into little tiffs with teammates. But I kind of like that feistiness, too, as long as it's channeled in the right way.
Now, here's Stevenson. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Passes it to Watson. And he gets it to go. And the Pacers lead by 4.
Man, that is a devastating move. How about that crossover?
He said, take a seat, dropped him off, and went all the way to the rim.
44 seconds left here in the first quarter. Outside Rondo. Rondo off the pick from Sullinger. Rondo kicks to Sullinger. Back to Rondo. Got it. Good job in the low post. Rondo's got 7 points.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
Here is Watson. He's covered by Rondo. Now Watson. He dishes it to Stevenson. It's stolen by Rondo. It's stolen by Watson. With 1 on the clock, and released it in time, but it's off the mark. And still a close game as the first quarter. Let's go! And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we have seen from Indiana. What do you think?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. On the court right now for the Pacers. Danny Granger out there with Roy Hibbert. Then it's Watson. Then it's Lance Stevenson. And it's Copeland in at the 3.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but their cutting, their movement together as a unit that's led to that.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, guys, the huge trade that really overshadowed this year's draft, the blockbuster deal between the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. The Celtics sending out the veteran trio of Jason Terry, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce, and in return receiving 3 future first-round picks, the right to swap picks in 2017. For the Celtics, a tough but realistic decision to begin the rebuild process. For the Nets, an all-in attempt to win a title. Guys, it sent shockwaves throughout the league, and we'll just have to wait to see how it all shakes out.
They've got probably the best team in franchise history. We'll see where they go next. And the free throw is good, now leading by 1.
That was a year that Gerald Wallace would like to forget. After signing on to be part of the new-look Nets, Wallace just didn't live up to the numbers that they were hoping for, and eventually was traded on to Boston.
Wallace hits 2 free throws. Well, back to Wallace last season. Clark, his second worst shooting season in his career.
Well, you'd have to go back to his 3rd season in the league, really, Kevin. And the Nets acquired him from the Blazers in exchange for the draft pick that became Rookie of the Year, Damian Lillard.
Hill. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, George Hill, one of those unique stories, playing with his hometown Indiana Pacers. He's a native of Indianapolis, Broad Ripple High School, was drafted by the Spurs, played in their system for 3 years out in San Antonio, and was acquired by the Pacers in a draft day trade back in 2011, and it's worked out well for both teams.
Free throw drops for Hill. And prior to last season, the Pacers signing George Hill to a 5-year, $40 million extension.
He's a good player, a really good combo guard, can shoot it well from distance, can run a team. Maybe not a traditional point guard, but somebody who can help you win. I think it was a good move for the Pacers.
So he gets them both.
Well, if the Pacers wanted to grab the attention of the league with their postseason play, they certainly did that. They marched through the first 2 rounds by knocking off the Hawks and the Knicks. And, boy, remember, they were a game away from the NBA Finals.
Now, here's Olynyk. Bradley can't get it to go. Now, here's Stevenson. G right on him to the right side. West dishes to Stevenson. Inside to Hibbert. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Ultimately, the Pacers would fall to the Heat, but they put them to the test. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They gained respect league-wide even more than they had going into the playoffs. It took 7 games, Clark, and you saw them all, which the folks didn't see coming.
I know that's the case, and yet the way the Pacers showed such grit in that series indicates they can compete with anybody. And when you have a defensive anchor like they do in Roy Hibbert, they've got a chance to be a championship team before long.
Here's Bradley after David West's bucket. Now here's Bradley. 6 to shoot. Outside, Green kicks the bats. It's rebounded by West. West has got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Hibbert with a screen for Stevenson. Inside to Hibbert. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And now a 6-point Pacer lead.
You know, when the size advantage is that pronounced, I mean, that's exactly what you should do offensively in this situation. Take it strong to the middle.
Now here's Lee. Bradley gets a screen from Olynyk. It's stolen by West. Fast break. Here comes Indiana. It's tipped. Green with the ball. Green gets a screen from Olynyk. Green passes to Bradley. Lee outside. Hits the 3-point bomb. Lee's got 5 points now in the quarter.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Pass to Stevenson. Outside, George. To the left wing. Stevenson kicks to George. 5 on the clock. He feeds it to Stevenson. Indiana needs to get a shot off. The shot by George, no good.
Well contested shot, and they did an excellent job of not fouling the shooter.
Defense is about effort and commitment and discipline. He's a good defender because of those things.
And with that shot, the Indiana lead is cut down to just 1 on the basket from Green. Outside Hill. Rebound Boston. Bass with a screen for Bradley. And he gets it to go. Bradley's got 5 now. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
Now, here's Green. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Green dishes to Bass. Outside Bradley. Bradley gets a screen from Olynyk. And the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen.
Well, good idea setting that screen, but the execution wasn't there.
No, it sure wasn't. I mean, you want it to be hard, but it also has to be legal.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for Roy Hibbert. Indiana trailing here. Here's Hill. He's got 8. Scola passes to George. Back to Scola. Goes to the fadeaway and keys it. Scola's got his second basket of the game.
The mid-range jumper becomes a pretty high percentage shot for him when he has that kind of space.
Now a timeout called by Boston. Now here's Olynyk, defended by West, and finished off by Bass. Guys, 7 times the lead has changed hands here now.
And we still aren't halfway through this contest yet.
Yeah, that number could easily go up to double digits before this game is over.
For Indiana, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. And George, here we go. And that one's good. George has got 6.
Man, he shows us he knows how to finish with a flourish.
Celtics have gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. Bradley kicks to Olynyk. Back to Bradley. Good.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
And Indiana shooting 52% from the floor. Nice work so far from them. And here is Hill. He's got 8. From 11 feet away. Misses off the left iron. Boston's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Olynyk sets a screen for Green. Excellent D there for Scola.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Hill dishes to Stevenson. And there's the pass to Hill. Left side West. 6 to shoot. Baseline jumper. And he gets the bucket. West has got 4 points in the quarter. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
Well, neck and neck. How about that? I mean, ferociously competitive. I mean, tight as me in an airplane bathroom. Boy, after having a tough time in the first, he's managed to turn it around nicely this quarter. You know, Avery Bradley missed the first 3 months of last season after undergoing surgery on both shoulders, fellas. I mean, when Rondo went down with his ACL tear, Bradley stepped into the starting point guard role, and I thought performed very well. The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
Oh, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, I mean, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
Here's West. The feed now to Scola. The shot's good on the assist by West. And now a 3-point Pacer lead. And for Bradley, a tremendous defender. And Steve able to defend either the 1 or the 2.
Well, he's listed at 6'2", but he has incredibly long arms and quick feet. So he's strong enough to guard bigger players, but his best attribute is putting pressure on the ball. It's a nightmare just trying to bring the ball up the floor against Bradley.
One of the best on-ball defenders, wouldn't you say, in the NBA?
Yeah, no doubt.
Timeout called the Pacers. And during the timeout, both coaches getting a chance here to review the strategy at this point of the game, along with the discussions. Also some rehydration going on with Gatorade. Everyone trying to bring their top game here tonight.
Yeah, that's why you see the trainers going around to every player, making sure they're hydrated, they're getting enough to drink during the game. And so important to hydrate yourself and keep yourself strong and ready to play for these big minutes down the stretch.
Here's Hill after the made shot from Bradley. Watson kicks to Granger. Offensive rebound. For Boston, they've gone 8 of 12 since the start of the second quarter. That's a really high percentage, hitting around 67%. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. He told the team he can live with giving up three-point shots, but that they cannot give up any more easy looks inside. He made that crystal clear. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. Indiana's gone 0-2 from deep here in the center. Hill kicks to Watson. Watson gets a screen from Scola. Beyond the arc. Watson's shot is off. Boston's gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. Back to Bradley. Rondo passes to Humphries. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Story came out about Chris Humphries last year that basketball wasn't his #1 sport as a kid. He was actually one of the best swimmers in the country as a youngster, but basketball's worked out just fine.
And he knocks down the first one. And Clark back to Humphries. He still holds the 10 and under record in the 50-meter and the 100-meter freestyle. Steve, I didn't know that.
Wouldn't you like to see Tim Duncan and Humphries swim against each other? You know, Duncan used to swim as well.
Right, yes.
Childhood.
Yes.
So I say we put him in the pool. Let's see who the better man is.
Humphries hits them both.
Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first quarter points.
Now here's Scola. He's got 6. Watson for 3, and he gets it to go. Watson's got 5.
What are they thinking, leaving him with all that space out there? Do they not know? Have they not heard that this guy is unbelievable? That's a layup for him.
Here's Rondo. He has 7. Sullinger with a screen for Rondo. Pass to Wallace. Beyond the arc. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Wallace has got the lead back up to 4 now for the Celtics. Indiana's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Going back to the Pacers once more, you knew they wanted to emphasize defense each game, and Steve, they would always come out and get right in the offensive player's face to start the game.
And they allow the fewest first quarter points of any team in the league last year, Kevin. That's a great way to kind of set the tempo, set the tone in a ball game. And the Pacers were able to establish that defense right away.
It's stolen by Hill. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. It's blocked by Humphries. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. We've got 1:23 left in the first half.
Well, offensively, they've kind of settled for outside shots so far.
You know, I don't know if they're shying away from contact, Steve, but their free throw attempts also down from the first quarter.
And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Boston.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
You know, it also hasn't taken them long to make their mark in the paint. I mean, they're doing a lot of their scoring from in there.
First free throw is good.
You know, you think of what a typical Eastern Conference team plays like, and you often think of the Celtics. I mean, they like to slow it up. They'll play hard D and take their fouls when they can. Still, the Celtics last year were just average when it came to playing the rest of the conference.
And he can't hit the second. Boston leading by 3. Bradley with the ball. Now guarded by Watson. Bradley dishes to Wallace. Bradley kicks to Humphries. Back to Bradley. 5 to shoot. And here they come. Hill against Bradley. Hill passes to Granger. Watson dishes to Granger. And Copeland kicks to Granger. Launches it. And that is good. Granger's got 11 points. Going back to the Celtics, even as you said, Clark, they do all the things most Eastern Conference teams do well. They just couldn't keep it together, Steve, to finish far above 500 in the East.
Well, losing Rondo was a huge part of it, as they had to adjust their entire offense midway through the season. And I think a lot of it, too, is the rest of the East is caught up to them, and time is finally catching up to them.
Great unspoken communication between teammates, leading to the nice assist and the easy score.
Here's Copeland. Wallace covering. Watson, the pass to Hill. And he misses the go-ahead basket. And here is Sellinger. Rondo drives in. And oh, he hits the buzzer beater.
Pretty shot without a second to spare.
That can be so demoralizing for the team that gives up a shot like that to close out a quarter.
And the first half ends in a close one. It's the Celtics up by 4. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Gentlemen, I'm here with Roy Hibbert. And Roy, what do you think the team needs to do coming up in the second half?
I think we need to take care of the ball on the offensive end, get back, but you got to do a better job of just controlling the pace of the game. You know, you give a little bit of leeway, but I think we can do a better job in that aspect.
Roy, as always, we appreciate the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks, Doris. And, folks, the halftime show is coming up next. And then it's on to the third quarter. We'll step aside right now.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
This is Damon Bruce, ready to bring you the halftime report on 2K Sports. Let's go. Boston leading against Indiana. They're scoring effortlessly. The defense has been completely overmatched. Rajon Rondo in cruise control in this one against the Pacers defense. He's up to 9 points, and so far he's done a great job playing lockdown D. On the Pacers side of things, they managed to hang around. Defensive pressure so far paying off. They're forcing miscues, ripping and running. Danny Granger off to a good start. At the break, 11 points, and he's had some good court vision, helping out in the assist department as well. Thanks so much for joining me here in studio. Second half action is coming right up. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
We welcome you back to Indianapolis, Indiana, the Circle City, as we continue. The stories here, Danny Granger getting it done today.
I know we've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. He had a great first half, just an explosive offensive display there.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about what a great second half he had. He can usually keep it going for all 4 quarters.
On the floor for Boston. Speedy backcourt of Rondo and Bradley. Olynyk is out there with Brandon Bass. And it's Green in at the 3.
Kelly Olynyk, a 7-foot junior, actually spent 4 years at Gonzaga. Couldn't crack the rotation early on, so he redshirted during his junior year. And boy, did that pay off. Had a fantastic final year at Gonzaga and a very skilled big man who has a chance to be pretty good.
And he makes the first. And Olynyk, a tremendous skill level for a 7-footer. He actually played point guard for much of his high school career before that dramatic growth spurt around his junior season in high school, Clark.
Kevin, the growth spurt was 7 inches in 1 year, and I think that's part of why he needed that redshirt year at Gonzaga. You think about it, the way he improved his upside is pretty impressive.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
Well, guys, for the Pacers, it's been a slow and long climb from the Malice at the Palace back in '04. But now, with a terrific young team, fresh off a strong showing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can finally say the Pacers are back, and they're going to be around for a while contending for championships.
Here's Rondo after David West's bucket. Now Rondo. It's Bradley on the wing, defended by George. Here's Bass. Lays it up and banks it in. Bass has got the lead up to 6 now for the Celtics. And for the Pacers, ever since that unfortunate night in Detroit, the attendance in Indiana has sagged. They've been at the bottom half percentage-wise, Steve, for the last 9 years.
Well, it's time for the fans to come back, Kevin. You know, this is an elite team. They've got really high character, good guys. Ticket prices are about 60% less than the league norm. One of the best arenas in the NBA, and hey, it's Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state.
Bradley dishes to Rondo. From the arc. Bradley can't get it to go. Pacers trail by 6. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
And George, here we go. Hibbert. And he gets it to go. Hibbert's got 6. Well, the Celtics shooting a tremendous 61% from the floor, hitting on all cylinders. Rondo kicks to Bradley. Back to Rondo. Dishes it to Bass. Clock at 6. Feeds to Green. Knocked loose, and that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
1 second on the shot. 1.
And so it's Boston with it. They lead by 4. Now here is George. 8 points for him. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, what an impressive season for Paul George in 2012-13. He said, if you talk to these guys, they will tell you, I told them my rookie year, by year 3, I'd be an all-star. He fulfilled that prediction and helped lead the Pacers to the conference final. Coach Vogel said, quote, he's grown tremendously. When he got going on the offensive end, that's when our season changed. Guys, consider he's just 23, a world of potential.
Well, it certainly seems like a smart move for him. Thanks, Doris.
Well, he has all the skill. And for him, I think it's just about assertiveness. Staying in the attack mode constantly on offense.
Here's Hill. After the made shot from Olynyk, it'll go. The Boston lead is cut to just 3 points on the basket from Hill.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Well, it's not often you find a player like Paul George who, as tall as he is, can play 2 guard. But when you do, you're going to see some really big numbers in rebounding from him. And that's what George does. He wants to average double-digit rebounds.
Olynyk with it. He's got 6. Rondo passes to Olynyk. Here's Rondo. 6 to shoot. Olynyk dishes to Green. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
And the Pacers with possession here. Hill kicks to George. Hill against Rondo. Here's Hibbert. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That one on Olynyk. And Clark, you mentioned the height of Paul George. 6'8" when he was drafted. He actually grew to 6'10" in his rookie season, Steve. So he's a young guy that's continuing to grow both on the floor and physically.
Yeah, he may be 7'2" by his 4th year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, though, he gives you power forward size and rebounding with guard skills. It's easy to see why the Pacers are so excited about him.
Does he remind you of anybody in particular?
A little bit like Scottie Pippen, you know, early in his career. Maybe not quite as strong as Scottie,
Sure,
but
yeah.
a similar skill set.
Interesting. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2.
When Hibbert came into the league, guys, everybody assumed he'd be a project, and that's been accurate. But projects can pay off, and to have a player with his size and work ethic and skill is a huge payday for the Pacers.
Nice shot by Rondo.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. That's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas.
Now here is Hill. 11 points in the game. There's the dish to Hibbert. He kicks it to George. Here's West, and it's blocked by Bass. And he's able to get it back. Count it, and the Celtic lead has been cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from West. The Celtics have gone 3 of 6 in the third quarter, 50% from the field. Rondo passes to Green. Green gets a screen from Bass. And Green gets it to go. And going back to Hibbert, and Clark, you mentioned this, looked at as a project when he came in, taken with the 17th pick, Steve, back in 08, in a draft that you were involved with Phoenix.
Well, we took Robin Lopez at 14 because he just had much better mobility athletically. We were shocked that Hibbert could eventually develop the kind of speed and lateral quickness that he's done. So pretty impressive that he's put all this work in and defied his critics.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey guys, well, Brad Stevens had some advice for the team over that last break. He wants his guys to devote a lot more energy to clamping down on the inside and preventing any shots from close range. Better interior defense was his message. Probably a good time to make some changes with a good chunk of the second half still to go, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. Now here's Rondo, following the miss by David West. The open shot by Rondo, and again it's Boston converting.
They can't afford to give him that kind of look.
Well, it came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to fight over the top of that.
Now here is Hill. 11 points in the game. That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut back down to 4 points with the basket from David West.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Lee off a pick from Bass. Olynyk dishes to Rondo. Lee outside. 6 on the shot clock, and it's Rondo penetrating. Tries from the block, and there are the Celtics with another basket.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league.
West outside. Passes to George. On the wing, Granger. George against Lee, and George, here we go. That's good. George has got 10 points.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on him.
Olynyk sets a screen for Rondo. From about 16, and the basket by Olynyk. Olynyk's got the lead up to 6 now for the Celtics.
He is just so good from that range, guys.
You know, never mind with the height advantage he had there.
Outside, George. Hill kicks to Granger. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Shoots from the baseline. West can't hit.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamour stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
They've done a lot of good work with the ball, really moving both the ball and moving bodies, getting quality chances at the hoop.
And they're not wasting chances when they get them. I mean, they're hitting their shots.
Now here is Hill. 11 points in the game. From deep, George. That doesn't go either for George. Boston leading by 9. Right side, Rondo. There's a screen. Shoots off the screen. No good from Lee.
Really good offensive execution. Nice pick, just couldn't get the shot to go.
Boy, you love to see that as a basketball purist. The guy setting a good screen and then getting the shot opportunity.
You know, when he gets the ball that close to the basket, it's almost an automatic 2 points.
Well, the defense has to battle him down there and keep him out of position in the first place. Do your work early.
Now here's Rondo. He's got 18. He dishes it to Olynyk, and the shot is good. Olynyk's got 8 points here in this quarter. Pacers trail by 9. And here is Hill. West outside, kicks it to Granger, and that'll be Indiana as it goes out of bounds. Pacers retain possession.
Boy, that pass was in the air a long time.
Long enough for him to get a finger on it anyway and send it out of bounds.
Celtics making a switch here. Jared Sullinger's checked in for Olynyk. Humphries comes in for Brandon Bass. Wallace is checked in for Jeff Green. And it's Avery Bradley in for Courtney Lee. Copeland the pass to Granger. Just 5 on the clock. And good on the basket. Book it.
You know, it's a plus to get good looks in the paint. And when you can get them, you got to score them. You know, it's always strange to see how a team will react when they lose one of their biggest stars. Last season, the Celtics were thought to be dead in the water when Rondo tore his ACL, but they actually rallied and went on the winning streak after the injury.
Now, here's Bradley. He's got 9. Here's Sullinger. Can't get it to go. Nice D from Stevenson. Pacers trail by 7. Now Watson. 6 points for him. Out left to the wing. Launches a 3. And it's Stevenson missing. Well, Clark, as you said, with Rondo and the Celtics, they would go on to win the next 7 right after his injury. And overall, Steve played better than expected the rest of the way.
Sometimes that's the way these things go, Kevin. A star player goes down, everybody else kind of steps up, and instead of feeling sorry for themselves, they use it as a rallying cry. And all those role players for Boston really picked up the extra slack, and I thought they made a great push to end that season after the Rondo injury.
You knew that at some point the window for the group of Celtics that had won a title was going to close. I mean, it was inevitable, but last year seemed like they were going to go for one last hurrah as they added some depth and looked to reload for another run.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Boston.
Anytime you get as many points in the paint as they have, you know you've got a good thing going and you just want to keep it going.
And they're getting so much penetration on the defense that they're getting a lot of easy buckets as a result of breaking down that defense.
And so Bradley nails both of them. And getting back to the Celtics and Rondo's injury, a lot of people expected them to start the rebuilding process. Ended up standing pat at the deadline, Steve, even though there was, it seemed, a lot of interest.
You know, you want to give that group, KG and Pierce and Rondo, you want to give them another run. And they had their last hurrah. They didn't get it finished, and now you start the rebuilding project. So a lot of trades, a lot of movement over the summer, but I like the fact that they gave that club one more run.
Now here's Rondo, following the miss by Danny Granger. Rondo off the pick from Humphries. The drive by Rondo. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Pass to Scola. From 13 and off the glass. That one's good. Scola's got 8 points. We've got 1:13 left to play in the third. Outside Rondo. He feeds it to Wallace. Rondo with it. Now defended by Watson. Wallace dishes to Rondo. Sullinger with a screen for Rondo. Here's Bradley. And he can't extend the lead to double digits.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
That's his first personal foul.
The Pacers have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
At the line for 2.
And that one falls for Stevenson.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. A tough team and a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
Paul George, he's checked in for Chris Copeland. And Stevenson drops them both. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them. Given it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team. They'll pound you inside, they rebound, they protect the paint. There aren't a lot of matchups that seem to bother this team.
Here is Watson. 6 points for him. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Puts up the baby hook, and George finishes inside. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. Boston's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Rondo kicks to Sullinger. Back to Rondo. And the pass to Sullinger. Here's the teardrop. But they get it back. 3 quarters of play in a close game here. Celtics lead by 3. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this.
The perimeter, found his teammate in space, and put the pass right on the money.
Here is Watson. Stevenson and George on the wings. Danny Granger out there with Scola. And it's Watson in at the point guard position. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Indiana moving it around. A nice shot by George.
Well, it took him a long time to get that three-point range. Maybe this will get him going.
Boston's gotten a lot of looks outside tonight. 5 of 12. The drive by Rondo. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, Rondo's one of the best defensive players in the league, guys, and it's because of those long arms. He has a 6'11" wingspan. He's incredibly fast, quick hands. So all he has to do is anticipate and just kind of get into the teeth of the offense, and you know he's going to force a lot of turnovers.
And in general, he's just a little things are the big things kind of player. A fantastic rebounder for a guard who is good for a handful of triple-doubles a season and knows where to be in any given situation. I love his poise and confidence out there. Well, how about Rajon Rondo in this one? He's got 19 points and 7 assists. He's showing us those quick hands today, both when he has the ball and when he doesn't.
Yeah, he's really distributed well on the offensive side, and then ball hawking defensively. He's been impressive.
And both free throws good from Rondo.
Boy, still waiting for their first miss from the foul line this half.
100% since halftime, is that right? I'm not sure this lead's going away anytime soon if that keeps up.
Hill passes to Stevenson. Now the feed to Hibbert. And so he draws the foul on the shot, not tripped to the line to shoot 2.
After signing the big contract, a lot was expected from Roy Hibbert last season, and he put a little pressure on himself, but he also had a wrist injury, got off to a slow start, and didn't find his groove until the calendar turned to 2013.
And he makes the first. And for Hibbert, first-time All-Star in 2012. His slow start cost him a shot, I think, to repeat as an All-Star last season. That was after he signed the big contract, too, with the Pacers.
Yeah, but he sure recovered well because in the second half of the season and the playoffs, he was one of the best players in the NBA. In fact, gave Miami all kinds of troubles in the East Conference Finals.
He's off on the second.
Well, Gerald Wallace still a good player in this league, but not quite the defensive lockdown defender and difference maker that he once was.
Now here's Rondo. Pass with a screen for Rondo. Good. Rondo's got 13 points in the second half.
You know, it's really going to be all about hard work from this point on. And they worked hard to create that high-quality shot right there.
Yeah, and that's their goal down the stretch. Continue to find those close-range shots.
And it's Rajon Rondo with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And Wallace Clark, known as Crash for his aggressive play style. Always a high motor.
Yeah, he's always in the mix. Really aggressive, a guy who rebounds well for his size, or will attack you in the open court off the dribble. An all-star and all-defense first team in 2010. Terrific athlete, gives you 100% when he takes the floor. But he's got to up his production this season.
Now here's Rondo. Dishes it to Olynyk. No good. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Stevenson can't hit.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Pacers trail by 3. Outside Hill. Pass to West. Good.
And now both of these clubs really in a groove here.
Already a high-scoring game, but it has become an offensive showcase down the stretch.
The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Rondo with the ball. Picked up by Hibbert. No luck.
That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
George dishes to Hibbert. To take the lead, Stevenson. Back to George. Feeds to Stevenson. And again, it's the Pacers from deep. Time running low, guys, and somebody has got to win this one.
You know, quite honestly, Kevin and Steve, I mean, this game, as close as it's been, you really hate to see it come to an end.
I agree.
Well, then let's root for overtime. Why not?
And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Rondo with it. Pass up top. West with the steal. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Bradley against Hill. And George, here we go. Just 5 on the clock. Left side, George. It's rebounded by Olynyk. Olynyk's got his 4th rebound in this one. Rondo off the pick from Olynyk. Olynyk sets a screen for Rondo. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Rondo's got 15 points here in the second half.
Well, you don't expect to get opportunities that easy coming down the stretch of a tight game.
West a screen on Rondo. Hill drives in. The 3 from George. And that one's good. George has got 20 points.
That's far too good a look to give them from behind the arc.
Well, that's 3 of the last 5 makes having been behind the three-point line. So, got to make some adjustments defensively.
Now here's Rondo. And he gets it to go. Here's Hill. Timeout called the Pacers. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. With the game hanging in the balance, he tried to give his players some added motivation, saying, quote, "This is the time, guys, right now. Be in this moment. Do your job, and we'll get the win." Back to you.
The Pacers making a switch here. Rangers check in, and the shot is good.
I love it. Nothing better than a hustle play like that one. Gets the whole team amped up.
Celtics trail by 3. And here's Rondo. Outside Bradley. Now Rondo. There's the dish to Bass. Trying to find Green. He's got it now. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it. Pacers leading by 3. Hill with it. He's picked up by Rondo. West, right side. Turnaround Jay. And again, it's Indiana. Celtics have gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. Bradley kicks to Rondo. Rondo off the pick from Olynyk. There's Green with the 3. That doesn't go either for Green.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly.
George passes to Hill. Back to George. Left side West. 6 to shoot. And it's good off the back rim and in. Now it's a 7-point Pacer lead. Now here's Rondo. He kicks it to Bradley. Basket is good. The assist from Rondo. 14 points for Avery Bradley.
Another good look there, and that's his second three-pointer of the game.
Hill against Rondo. Hill dishes to Hibbert. That's good. And the Pacers lead by 6.
Yeah, he didn't have to slow down at all, guys. Just perfectly timed pass there.
Hill against Rondo. Jeff Green on the wing. Passes it to Bass. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that.
Beautiful job angling his body, shielding the big man from the ball on his way to the basket.
That's really the only way to do it if you're going to take it down there amongst the tall trees.
Now here is Hill. He dishes it to West. And again, it's Indiana.
He's got the touch they needed here as this one goes down to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely. He's 4 for 4, and he knows they need every basket. I would look for them to continue to get the ball in his hands.
Hill against Rondo. Kicks it to Olynyk. Bradley up top. Outside Rondo. Austin needs to get off a shot. High post try. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Pacers leading by 6. Outside Hill. Pass to Hibbert. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 4 assists in the game.
They're getting on the roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
The defense has to make an adjustment. They've got to string together some stops, or at the very least, try to force this team into some bad shots.
And George, here we go. Granger kicks to Hibbert. Indiana moving it around. George with the ball. Now guarded by Bradley. Hill passes to Hibbert. And the shot is good. And now it's a 10-point Pacer lead. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stance for the Pacers?
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
And guys, the thing that jumps out at me is their block shots. I mean, they're playing up on the shooters tightly, and then they're sending them packing. I mean, putting those shots in reverse, all in a clear, good day's work.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He said to his guys, let's get serious about driving the lane and putting pressure on their interior defenders. That's where he sees the soft spot in this defense. It's pretty late in the game to be altering the game plan, but they're going to come out with a different look here, guys. Back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Indiana leading by 10. Hill kicks to Hibbert. He feeds it to Granger. And George, here we go. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG 24, a young swingman out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is, just turned 23, and he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games, and I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year at some time in his career.
And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010, what a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star, and that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special. For the Celtics, they've really struggled against George.
22 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
I'm sure they'd like to get him a few more of those, so look for them to run some screens for him, try to pop him open.
Pacers leading by 12. Now the pass to Hill. West inside. Rebound Boston. Bradley's got 4 rebounds in this game. And there's the feed to Olynyk. That's good. So it's the Pacers now. Outside Hill. Outside George. Makes it off the glass. George has got 16 points here in the second half.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
Hill with it. Now guarded by Bradley. Hill kicks to George. Green with the ball. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
Yeah, good call there. You could tell he was moving into the defender when he tried to set the screen.
Yeah, lowered that shoulder, dipped right into him, too. I mean, he was going to be called on that foul either way.
Chris Humphries has checked in for Boston. Pacers leading by 12. Outside Hill. The shot by West. No good off the front iron. The Celtics have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Humphries sets a pick for Rondo. Kicks it out to Bradley. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. And there's a minute 45 left in the fourth. And the basket by Olynyk.
He's definitely turned things around in this game. I mean, he was more of a background player in the first half. He's jumped center stage now.
Rondo against Hill. West, right side. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Talk about a terrific game for David West. 11 rebounds, and he's pickpocketed the ball 5 times.
Tell you what, this guy is just an unstoppable force, guys.
There's been nothing they can do to stop him.
The first one falls. And both free throws good for West. 1:29 left in the fourth quarter. And it's Rondo penetrating. They set the pick. Out to the wing. Humphries dishes to Rondo. Shot clock at 6. That's in, and the Pacer lead is cut down now to just 9 in the bucket from Bradley.
Getting the feel out there from long range, guys. That's his second 3 of the half.
Indiana's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. West inside. Humphries there, and the basket good. And the Pacers lead by 11.
And at this point, just sort of running through the paces, going through the motions as it appears. It'll be a nice win here for the Pacers.
You're right there, Steve. And one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, Clark, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
Well, it deflates the opposition when you can be pesky defensively, and then it sparks your offense, and that's what happened for them. When you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's hard to overcome that kind of defensive pressure.
You always need role players to step up and help, and that was the case here because everything was working for Paul George. You look at the energy brought on both ends of the floor, and it's easy to see he was a difference maker.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're losing by 13. There's 31 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, this one's in the bag. I mean, I commend them for really putting forth the effort until the very end, but this thing's over.
You know, sometimes you just have to throw up the white towel and let fate run its course so you can get on to the next game.
Celtics making a switch here. Sullinger's checked in for Olynyk. Wallace comes in for Jeff Green. Lee's checked in for Bradley. And Jordan Crawford is subbed in for Rajon Rondo. And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, exactly. They got to be happy with the outcome here.
Elated, you're right. West passes to Watson. Dishes it to Stevenson. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sound.
So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on the win. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Paul, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that. And now for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, David West.